if your cluster starts before Vault, you're not running DevOps. You're running DevWhoops. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to ensure that Vault is initialized and unsealed before your cluster starts. Make them depend on each other. Now, let's dive in. In one of my previous videos, I ran you through setting up Vault so that we can use it with our cluster. However, here's what's going on. When your cluster starts, it does not mean that Vault is ready, unsealed, and can be used. So, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to create a dependency between Vault and your cluster so that when your cluster only starts when Vault is ready and unsealed. Now, it's very simple, will not take a lot of work. So what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to create a bash script. And this bash script will check if Vault is initialized and if it is unsealed. Now, in a previous episode, we did not only set up Vault, we also installed Vault Auto Unseal, which ensures that it will safely unseal the Vault. And this script that we're going to introduce today will actually check, hey, we're initialized, we're ready to go, we are now unsealed, okay, so our cluster can now start up. Let's jump into our script. So it's fairly simple, actually. What it does on logic is, hey, we're going to check Vault, and we're going to check it every 2 seconds if we're initialized and unsealed. If that's the case, we're done and anything else can continue. And what we're going to do is hook this into the systemd setup of our cluster startup. So here we have our connection to our Vault, just a nice echo line, and this is the magic. And what it does is we're going to use curl to connect to the health endpoint. And we're using tick sk. Now, the S is for silent and the K is actually to ignore certificate warnings because we have set up our own certificates. And this will ensure that everything works. And the output will be in JSON. So what we're doing is we're using JQ and we're checking the dot initialized is true and the dot sealed is true. That's it. And then we simply dump all the output to /dev null. We don't care about the output. We just care if the initialized is true and we're unsealed. So this is our wait for Vault script, right? And then we need to hook it into systemd. Well, there's actually a really cool, simple way of doing it. So for any service within systemd, you can basically set up an override. What we're going to do is we're going to set up an override. You just create a directory with the name of the service and create a file override.conf. And that way you can use a override on an existing service. And the override is actually here. So the override is, hey, we want to start after Vault. We require Vault. Make sure, hey, we're down below, right? And what we're doing is we're injecting a exec start pre, which means we want to start a script before the normal startup script of the cluster. That's what we're doing. We're simply giving the name of our script, and that's it. Now, in my setup here right now, I'm using Ansible. I'm using the Ansible TPI project I have been using in many videos so far. You can use it and you can check the code, copy the code, do it manually if you want to. Just check the link down below and you're good to go. So the only thing you have to do is run this. So if you use Ansible from the project, it's basically, let's install this Ansible playbook. We're going to use playbooks and we're going to use our cluster setup. We're going to deploy this to one of our clusters and we're going to say run the Vault part. It's running. So now we only have to wait till it's done and we're ready to go. It's done. I already had it installed, but as you can see, it's pretty easy to do. So this is how you set up a dependency between two systemd services without changing everything. You can just inject the tiny modification that you want. And this way, we just ensured that the cluster is started after Vault is initialized and unsealed. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below, like, subscribe, and I see you in the next video. I'm Garrett, and this is Timmertech.